All right, who missed me? It's been almost 2 days. So, thankfully, getting in here for another video back from the trip. Nad's 90th with the Kraken. It was great. So, let's get into this. Let's get into today's 3 games, just so you get a little bit of, the here and now. And then tomorrow morning, we'll get into Saturday's 3 games, and then we'll do at lunchtime the 5 things I learned for the week there, once I do a little bit of a catch up and make sure I've seen everything properly and gone through the ladder and everything myself. But the games are just finished for today. Let's get into them. And the Prince of Penrith, 112, I think it ends up with in updates. Isaiah Yeo, I think, stays at 70, which is cool too. But Cleary with the triple. 2 try assists, 7 goals in there as well. And he was absolutely perfect in this game. 4 missed tackles, a couple errors and a penalty, sure, but still had 3 forced dropouts, 273 run meters. Only needed to kick for 232 in the end. I just had a cracker. It's so good watching him play. And there was even that, that he was the last pass for the Casey McLean try, which, obviously didn't go to him as well. So, it could have been even more, which is pretty crazy. But 111, 112 for Cleary. Absolutely incredible. And yeah, this was the worry of not getting him, was that, as I was saying during the week, that he had the sort of 80s, 90s tons in him. And even to go over 110 is even crazier. So, yeah, if you unfortunately weren't able to jump on or didn't jump on Cleary, hopefully you at least had Fogarty, who got a massive score as well in that final game that just finished. A lot of good scores, really good scores in that one. Thankfully, I had the 4 plays in there. Well, 5, but I had Gray on my emergencies there. So if you went into this game with Cleary, Yeo, Jacob Little, you'd be absolutely cheering because Yeo came out with a 70 in the 80 minutes. So big welcome back for him. Definitely missed this. I'm very, very upset about the Connor Watson situation. It's actually getting worse and looks like he's copped an injury, and there's been a bunch of injuries. So I'm really thankful of how this final couple of games, or today's games basically, ended up, apart from Jaden Campbell scoring really well. But this has really saved me because yesterday was an absolute shocker fantasy-wise. Thank goodness I was occupied with family and doing all that stuff, because just, following along and going, yep, Cotter, HIA, no return. Yep, Garrick, HIA, no return. Getting getting an injury from Watson, hearing that Galvin's probably in a bit of strife. There's a lot of things that didn't go well yesterday at all, and thankfully it was improved today. We'll get into all that sadness tomorrow morning once I've recovered about yesterday, and we'll go forward from there. But Isaiah Yeo with a cracking 70. I wish I could have got him last week, basically. If he backed up, I would have went him over Watson, and that would have been cool. But well done to anyone who jumped on this week. It was 200 and something in the top 1,000 that did jump on. Big one from Sorensen there was 66. Try, saver, turnover tackle as well. So plenty for Sorensen. This is back to some of his best work, and he's going to be an interesting guy to have a look at from round 1 next year for sure. Jacob Little, all the way up at 700k now, 64 for him with a try saver as well. 58 tackles in this one. Did a great job. Obviously, 6 missed tackles hurt him a little bit, and then Harm Saleh was 64 minutes for a big 59. So hasn't been in his wheelhouse in recent history, but a big score for him there in that one. Liam Martin with a 58, so a really nice score from him with a try as well. Not something that he's had very much of. His great scores this year, all the way down at 410k, which is incredible for sure. Lindsay Smith also picked up a try with a line break. Good stuff for him. Lomax with a 52 had 3 try savers and a turnover tackle. So really picked up a lot of his points from that. So good stuff from him. And any owners, Toby Couchman, a massive 52 in 38 minutes. He's actually averaging 36 for the year. And has been, in the games that he has played, he's done a really good job. Those are still own Luai, so 49 for him, a line break try assist in this one. 6 missed tackles and 2 errors, kind of slowed him down a bit, but 5 offloads really helped him on the other side of it. Still get a really solid score, and you could probably hold for a little bit longer and then make some decisions from there. Jaden Su'a with a try at the end of the game there. 19 tackles, 6 misses, 2 penalties. Not a great game from him. Speaking of not a great game, Ben Hunt, 6 errors. Obviously their leader, their most important player, just had a bit of a shocker. He kicked the ball out, I think, 3 times on the full, and then had a 40-20 in amongst it all. So he definitely wasn't shying away from the game plan of kicking to edges, kicking to corners, and trying to keep them rather than pushing through the middle, which they love, keeping them on the sidelines. But with the wind, he definitely wasn't kicking them well, that's for sure. So a 41 for Ben Hunt. Taruva 41, To'o 39. Still can't get tries at the moment, old To'o. And yeah, that'll drop his price a little bit. But again, not someone we're looking to target right now, I don't think. Leilua Tuipulotu, DeBellin with 35, 41 minutes for him. So Harm Sele went massive in the minutes. DeBellin at least a good PPM. But yeah, not a good score, unfortunately. Dane Laurie going down with the head knock. So he was a no-return head knock as well. It was a pretty bad one at that. Got the try assist on the play that he did end up copying that head knock. And it was... he would have been on for a massive game, that's for sure. But 29 and 20 for him. And he'll miss next week now. And then we've probably got Edwards coming back after that. We'll see what happens on that front. Mitch Kenny, 28. Henry, 28 there in 35. But Isaac Tungo with the try saver as well. 27 for him. It's just not happening this year. And he still looks like he's running with good vigor and having a crack. But yeah, missed tackles are there, penalties. There's always something on the negative side each game that's kind of cooking him. And unfortunately for Casey McLean, an incredible start to this game. He was on 22 and basically, 10, 15 minutes once he got that first try. And then from there, 2 missed tackles, 2 errors, and then the 1 inside 10. Nothing went his way. He didn't move out to the wing as well, so that hurt his potential tackles, which, he finally copped a couple of misses in this game. And just hardly got any ball out there once they were rolling through the middle and Cleary was doing his thing. And obviously Isaiah Yeo, plenty of work through the middle there as well. There's just so many points and efforts through that middle. And then Sorensen on the left edge, Martin on the right, Lindsay Smith through the middle as well. So just didn't get out to him, unfortunately. If you played him, not the end of the world. If you didn't play him, at least you know that he's a gun, because that try he scored was very, 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 very spectacular. And he's going to be a superstar of our future for sure. Really strong outside back. They keep developing him and they keep doing good things. And then Moses Sully with 26 in this one from him. None of these guys have a bye anymore, so that's something to note, obviously. The first game back from Dragons, but I don't think they're a team that you want to focus on. The middles get different minutes all the time. Eisenhuth got 38 minutes for 30 in this one, who has been someone that's been incredibly dominant over the most of the season there, and unfortunately a low points game from him. Move to the Dolphins game here, and what about Mo Fotuaika with an 82? I was personally very upset with this game just for the fact that it was 14-6 early. Things were going great. Campbell was on a pretty good score. I do have him in Supercoach though, so it's not the end of the world. But I was like, yeah, I've tipped the Finns. They're in a good chance of going well here and continuing to get a win. And then the Titans just blew them away. Mo Fotuaika, they got in the back of him, 9 tackle breaks, almost 200 meters there. Fafita really turned things on in the second half as well. And if you do want to look at Fotuaika for the rest of the year, he is under 600k, and we know that he needs to step up for this team to do any well. And we know last year, this was kind of the minutes that he was getting and doing great stuff. But is this like a Stefano game where he comes out and dominates and then goes back to the lower 40 scores or the 30s? It could be. And sometimes he has these games. He's just not as consistent anywhere near that of last year. Fafita, as I said, saved his score there with the line break in the back end. 7 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, good run meters in the end. But he was looking at sort of a 30-odd with 15 or so 20 minutes to go, and people were hoping that he got up there, and he sure did. But 65 for both for him, for Campbell, and also Maxi Plath. What a legend. We'll get into him in a sec, but start with Campbell. An incredible player, guys. Three try assists, 3 line break assists, good tackle numbers. This one only 3 misses, 2 offloads, good run meters, good kick meters there, just all across the board for him. Doing great stuff, 65 points, and you just can't get enough of it. Obviously, last week when people bought him, most people had him already and all those good scores, but if you bought last week, he had a lower one, and he really paid you guys back, that's for sure. And I do miss having him in my side, the dual position wing fullback half, and he got through another game unscathed, so great news there. Maxi Plath, what a legend. That run was obviously hectic, picked up 2 tackle breaks and about 30-odd, they only gave him about 30-odd meters. We'll see if that changes at all. I think it was a little bit more from watching, 45 to 50. Anyway, it's another point or something like that. Nothing crazy. But 3 tackle breaks, back to 53 tackles, 1 miss, and did have 1 penalty as well. So only 4 in negatives. Absolutely massive. I was saying that he was due for a bounce back after the 8 missed tackle game. I just thought we'd never really see that again. And coming up against a lesser side than the Panthers anyway, he was able to make and stick with his tackles and do good work in the back end of that game and push to a 65 in the full 80. So very thankful for that. At least he had some run meters thanks to a couple of offloads out the back and picked up that line break as well. So that was great news for myself and anyone who did hold on to Plath, but he was him and Weeks were the most sold this week. Coming into trading in Cleary and Fogarty and all these types of guys there. So there you go, 65 for Plath. Hope you guys held on like myself. That was one of the bright spots of my afternoon, which was good. Sam Verrills with 56. Anyone holding on to him, happy days. Cam Pereira with a double and 3 line breaks for a 55. Isaiah Katoa with a really good game again until it mattered again at the end. It's not all on him, but if they kicked on in the second half, he probably would have got 60, 70, 80. Could have crushed it because he did a great job in that first half. Keanu Kinney with the 53, so keep holding on to him until Brimson comes back and his name to start. But another cracking game for Kenny. A bit of a lower one last week, obviously, or whatever it was when he came off the bench. But back to a good score at 53. Chris Randall, a terrific try assist from him, and he's such a good player there. 51 for him in the 74. So actually, if you went for him over Josh Curran in the end, you end up with a better net 2-week score, which, we'll obviously get to that Dogs game. Wow. Didn't tip him again. Well, actually, I tipped them last week against the Cows, and they lost, and then tipped against them this week, and they smashed the Broncos. So that'll be a fun one to speak about in the 5 things we learned as well. But Randall with a 51 crack and score, good stuff for owners. 4 and 50, Kelly 49, Sammy 48. Some terrific running from those boys. Jesse Brom with a try and 38 minutes, so 45 for him. Both more. Anyone that bought him got a 44 with 4 missed tackles, 1 error, 1 penalty. That won't happen on a regular basis. Of course, it's when you buy him that he gets the lowest score. But he's 662 and priced basically where he scored this week at 44. So no harm, no foul. He'll be better he'll be better in other weeks for sure. And you get him at centre, so a very safe spot there. Herbie Farnworth with a 44 for him. 5 tackle breaks, 3 offloads. Couldn't help them win, unfortunately, but an okay score fantasy-wise. Lemuelu, similar thing for the one person that asked me. I was like, 50-50, maybe Lem's the better play. Could be, the other way. He got 44, so fine enough, but 6 missed tackles, no attacking stats. He needs a try in there or something to do good stuff and exceed the expectations. But 41 in 38 for Aaron Clark, for anyone holding on. Unfortunately, the hammer trade-in didn't work out too perfectly. He was 35 in about 55 minutes and just went nowhere in the back end, unfortunately. So it's not like he had a bunch of negatives, just 6 in that front. But 150 metres, 7 kick defusals was helpful, but 6 tackle breaks, no attacking stats for the first time in a long time. So that's pretty tough for Hammer there. Cleese Haas came on for 20 minutes, so he's really dropped down. 23, picked up a try and got the 23 though. Asako with the 22 in 80 minutes. Just gross how this one's ended up for Asako. You had obviously Bostock on the other side. That score, when he ended up, Bostock 24. It's only just ahead of him anyway, so nothing special on either edge this week. But Asako really fallen off a cliff this week. He's been sort of fine. But yeah, nothing crazy at all this week. Pretty bad. Tavita Pangai, I think Asako you still hold, but it's not great. Obviously, you can't just burn trades on non-injury guys anymore. There's just too many injuries at the moment. So Tavita, 22 in 34 minutes, picked up another try, but 6 missed tackles, a penalty, not great. Nicarima, 21. O'Sullivan came on for 15 minutes and didn't take Plath, so that's good for us Plath owners. And then we've got Fuller, who didn't get on, obviously there. And Averillo, 13 in 80 minutes, averaging 30 now for the season, which is pretty rough. But we do get to this final game, and this did help me out a lot fantasy-wise. I obviously didn't own Fogarty, but well done to you owners of Fogs. But Hudson Young at 83 for him there, 11 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, 200 run meters. If he didn't have the missed tackles, 8 of them, if he had like 3, then we're looking at close to a ton, which is absolutely incredible for Hudson. And then you got Fogs there with a 76, 6 goals, 2 try assists. If you got 6 tackle breaks, he might have got a bloody 100 there, but he's been awesome in his return, a 60 odd into a 76, 28 tackles, 1 miss again, 588 kick meters there, turnover tackle, doing great things. The Fog man, 2 try assists off the boot, no line break assist for him in this one, but a cracking score and someone we really want. Obviously, you had DCE, you had Fogarty, both really dominate at that similar price point there. And then Colin Matangi, he's just the gift that keeps on giving. For anyone that jumped on like 580 or 600k or whatever he was, something stupid back then, he's just absolutely rocketed up the leaderboard. And I'm not sure how it's going to work out next week. I think they still need to play massive minutes. He's such an integral part to this team. But I wonder if he does get a 60 or 70 minute effort. And as a little bit lower, but even if that's the case, he'll probably still sit around that 50-55 points, which will be good. After buying him for a 57 or 58 last week, he really helped us out this week with a 74. 42 tackles, 2 misses, 7 tackle breaks. A couple errors, obviously, one was a forward pass off an offload, so it could have been, an 80 if that offload came through. And 233 run meters, which is absolutely incredible. Speaking about incredible, someone that you're paying a lot less for, and I'm very glad I did pick him up last week, is that of Jack Wyden. 64 this week, really came in clutch for my squad when I needed it, that's for sure. 1 try assist there, but he was just accumulating all game. He had 2 offloads, 18 tackles, 1 miss only, and that was the only negative of his game. 2 tackle breaks, the turnover tackle there, 109 meters run and 465 on the kicking front. And unfortunately, Cody Walker goes off early, so not sure how that's going to work next week, but the way that they're going, Whiten should still take control. This is a big loss for him, though, and obviously their ability to make the 8. So I wonder if Latrell's actually going to come back or if they're going to, take that surgery early. We'll see. I hope that they take the surgery early just because I'm not holding him and I've got Gray. So that'll be pretty helpful for myself. But anyway, 64 for Whiten. Incredible work for those that do own him. Duncan with 56. Picked up his first try this year. So good stuff from him. Did he get one last year? I'm not sure. I'm sure he did. He made some line breaks, that's for sure. But 48 tackles for him. Picked up that try. Was good stuff. And speaking of good stuff, Tommy Starling, an absolute legend. 55 for him in the 71 minutes and got that early mark there. He played a little bit through the middle in that end sequence, and he did pick up two tackle breaks, which only gave him 1 for, so we should see him up at a 57. Hopefully, he had 3 missed tackles, but one turnover tackle, 59 meters run. Hopefully that meters run gets to 60. We pick up a couple extra points, but at 438k, picking him up there, I'm very glad I did jump on this week and didn't just bite my tongue and go for someone else. I suppose like Jack Howarth would have been good, but Starling looks like he's going to be a super safe option in our 17s each and every week. He even outscored at this stage Joe Tarpany, who picked up 63 minutes, a 54 for him, big post-contact meters, 5 tackle breaks, 162 on the running side, and 32 tackles for 1 miss. So just a really solid game for Joe, and a great win for the Canberra boys, which with Fogarty back, it's just going to come more often, that's for sure. Jai Gray with a 47 with a try-saver turnover tackle at the end there. That was great. He had like 24 runs for 260 meters or 23 runs and 5 tackle breaks there with no other clear attacking stats. A really solid game, and I do hope he gets a chance to play the rest of the year. Okay, this was my slightly annoying one, but still a solid score, that of Damien Cook. He went up to about 18 or 20 in that first 14 minutes and then got pushed out obviously to the edge there, and then the couple of missed tackles come, the lack of tackles that they get to make, and then he obviously couldn't kick a goal, which didn't help. And in this one, if he kicked a couple of those goals, he would have sat out of 50 and been fine. But not the end of the world. They got 45, but that's 2 weeks in a row he's been pushed out to the centres, or he was even hanging out in the wing for a lot of the time there. So not great on that front. If he's out in the centres, he still doesn't get the opportunity to make those runs and coming out of your own trouble and stuff like that, which didn't happen as much there for Damien. And hopefully he actually can play 9 next week and not play out in the centres. Like, I'm getting that a lot with my my players at the moment. I've got to stop picking guys like Connor Watson and Damien Cook apparently. But it worked for Cook last week. Not as much for him this week, but still a 45 in there. Not too bad at all. Mooney with 44 for him in 40 minutes was good. Walker, and it still ended up with a try assist and a try. Apparently it was a hip issue, carrying it into half-time. 8 missed tackles. He ended up going off early. We'll see how that one ends up, if he's okay or not. But not ideal. Seb Chris with a 42. One of those, that run at the end with that post-contact meters was crazy. He just dragged like 3 people 20 meters or something like that, which was awesome to watch anyway. Jacob Host with a 40 for him. A welcome return to that edge. Didn't really help him out too much. He did have 2 penalties, but outside of that, he was not missing any or not creating any errors. Solid enough, but too expensive, I'd say. Smithies at 39, along with Rapiner and Strange. So Raps with 2 tries, probably a little bit low for him, obviously. Smithies, doubt anyone's still holding. Strange there with a 39. If he did hold on, not the end of the world. Some people said, I think people have asked me Stefano or Strange, and I was like, do you take the risk or not? All that risk paid off for an extra 1 point. At this stage, this is all pre-updates, obviously, there as well. KO Weeks ended up with a 36 for him. So, I suppose he was probably the better hold in the end over Samuel Afenu if you went down that route, but Samuel was 40k cheaper. You banked 40k more if you did sell weeks, but at least for all of us sellers, he didn't go out and dominate. Like Tyron Wishart had a really good game, obviously, who was my other sell. But yeah, Weeks with a 36, Hosking with a 33. Let's just keep lowering that price, and we'll get him as a starter next year. Cannot wait for that. He'll be first picked in my side. If he's anything under 700k, we'll be locking him in for the season, that's for sure, and hopefully he gets through unscathed. So just one of those guys next year. Don't let me push away for it. So if anyone's watching this now and they're watching me in preseason and he's under 700k starting and playing 80 minutes for the Raiders, don't you dare let me take him out of my side. That's what we're going to go with there. Milne still picked up a try. He's trying to do some funky things, but yeah, it was only one error. Not too bad for him in the end. Kepi 32, Papali'i 31, only 32 minutes for him. It's a bit low. David Wiley 30 and 42, okay at best. Rabbitohs with 30 and 19, good effort there with a try. Savage 26 with another try. Can't get away from him when Fogarty's in the team, but still not a great score. But you know he's going to be there each week. The one that was weird in the end, obviously Cheekham 19, but playing out in the centres, just the 6 missed tackles kind of cooked him there. Mamazelis, way too many missed tackles for someone we might be should be interested in next year. He'll have some decent games, but he still has had some good minute games and isn't scoring incredibly well, especially showed by this one here with an 18. Danny Levi got the 20 minutes, so him and Starling shared the park for about 10 minutes, and that's something a position that Starling's been used to. He has come on in other seasons and actually just played through the middle, 30, 40, 55 minutes through the middle, and that happened for 10. I think that worked pretty well. Starling got a good run in there and broke a couple of tackles as we were talking about. But Whitehead 19 in 61 minutes. So he's since he's lost the 80-minute effort there, he's kind of fallen off a cliff a bit, and he was averaging mid to early 50s, which has really slowed down. And speaking of slowing down, Matt Timoko 11 in 80 minutes. Wow, if you did decide to jump on this week or last, you'd be pretty cut up about this one, because that's a ridiculous fall from grace for someone that's not like this, and they scored 32 points. So that's crazy. Liam LeBlanc, Matt LeBlanc's brother, 11 in 19 minutes. Gagai with 8. What about the drop-off there? And then Alex Johnson. This is a sad one for owners of him. I imagine you probably weren't going to play him last game of the round, all that kind of stuff, unless you needed a wing fullback. 0 in 17 minutes, and he's out for the season, unfortunately. An Achilles tear, I believe. I haven't looked at it completely, but I just saw the quick banner. And all physio said he's out for the year. That'll be his last game, unfortunately. And doesn't get any closer to breaking that try scoring record, very, very sadly enough. But that's the 3 games there that we just saw today. We'll get that out to you very, very quick. And hopefully I'll get into the other games either tonight, most likely not. It is 8:42 p.m. On a Sunday night, working hard as we do. I'll get that out to you tomorrow morning before work, and then we'll get out that 5 things I learned as well. So thanks so much for being here. I hope you guys had a cracking weekend. There was a lot of over 1,000 scores, 1100s out there. So I'm very glad to have saved my week a little bit with some of these scores in this game here. And then Plath as well with a 65. And hopefully, things all worked out for you guys. And let me know where you ranked coming into the end of round 21. See you guys. Have a good night.